Hello everyone, welcome back to Direwolf20's Let's Play. This is episode 11 where I'm going to finish up my auto sorting room. Now you guys have probably seen me build a machine similar to this in the past, but I've decided to challenge myself and try doing it a different way, different than I've normally done it. And today I'm going to be building this room with Red Power 2. That's right, I'm going to be using pneumatic tubes and all the different machines that Red Power 2 gives us to get this sorting system the way I want it to work. So you can see I've only built 3 as opposed to 4 of the machines that I normally do. I might upgrade it at some point, but for now I'm going to see how well 3 work out for me. And in order to get started, I'm going to need to gather a couple of resources, so why don't I do that now, and I'll be back once I'm ready. Okay, so first thing I need to do is create some brass, and in order to do that, I'm going to need to combine 1 piece of tin with 3 pieces of copper in my alloy furnace here. So why don't I get a bit more brass, as you can see, and I'm going to let that stuff cook up. And in order to use my brass, the first thing I need to do is combine it with glass, like so. And that'll give me the pneumatic tube. Now, pneumatic tubes transport items along, and they act quite a bit differently than Buildcraft pipes, as a matter of fact. Sure, their basic concept in that they get items from point A to point B is the same, but they actually function rather differently. And when I start to build the system, you'll see just a bit how different they are. So first off, I need to build for myself a input chest. So let's get our input chest area here. Probably going to do something like, place it right here for now. That's probably a good spot. So that's where I'm going to place items that I want to be powered and push through this sorting system. Cool. Next up, I need a way to get items out of that input chest, and I'm going to need to sort them into a bunch of different inventories. So for now, I'm probably going to go ahead and just stick down a regular old chest, but I'll pretty quickly upgrade these to alchemical chests. So let's see, where do I want to place my output area? I think for now I'm just made myself a couple more chests. Let me just put them along this wall, and I might want to put them elsewhere later, but for now that looks like a good spot to be the output for all this stuff. Now, like I said, I typically build this using Buildcraft, so I may make some mistakes along this process. So what I want to happen is, placing a bunch of items in this chest, have them automatically sorted into these chests over here. And I want different items to go into different chests, and I want to make sure that the items that can be macerated are, and then once they're macerated, they get thrown into the induction furnace where they're cooked, and then eventually, again, output into a chest somewhere. So in order to sort items, the first thing I need to do is build a sorter. Let's go get one going now. And in order to run my sorter, I'm going to need some Red Power 2 power. I need to power that sorter, and right now with Red Power 2 the best way to do that is with a solar panel. So I'm going to be crafting quite a few things in this episode related to Red Power 2 because I need to build a bit of an infrastructure. So let's get started. Now to get started here, I'm going to need to place 8 sand and 8 coal inside an alloy furnace. And that's going to cook up and give me a silicon boule. Now this silicon boule is going to be used to make a couple different machines. Let's get it out now. Thank you, sir. The next thing I'm going to need is some nickelite, which I have in my Red Power chest here. I'll grab a stack of that. And I think that should be good for now. And I also need my saw. Sorry. Do need my ruby handsaw. So let's get this guy going. If I place my silicon boule in here with a ruby handsaw, which pattern is it? Well, looks like my ruby handsaw just isn't going to cut it anymore. I'm going to need a diamond handsaw. No diamonds in there, so let's go get some out of my condenser. Thank you, sir. Quite a bit of diamonds that I need to use here, but hey, good thing I have some. Now, I'm going to need some iron. That should be plenty. And you saw in a previous episode how I created a saw, and I'm just going to create another one using diamonds this time. My diamond handsaw combined with my silicon boule will get me 16 silicon wafers. And if I place a silicon wafer in here with 4 pieces of nickelite, it's going to cook up and create a blue doped wafer. And I'm actually going to need, it looks like, a bit more of those. So why don't I go ahead and just throw all this in there. and let it create a bunch of blue doped wafers for me. Those are what I'm going to use to create my solar panels. I'm probably going to need a bit more nickelite. If I run low, remember I said that earlier on nickelite was a little bit bugged and I wasn't getting as much as I should have. I might go ahead and just TMI myself a stack to make up for that. So I'm going to wait a few minutes for these blue doped wafers to cook, and while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to need some wool. I'm probably going to need a little bit more wool than I have here. So let's charge up my transmutation table, place wool in the target slot, and I don't know. Do I want to do a whole diamond's worth of wool? Probably not. Let's throw some cobblestone in there. That sounds good. Perfect. Plenty of wool. Thank you, cobblestone. Still cooking up my blue doped wafers. I'm going to let those finish and I'll be back when they're done. Alright, so I've got 16 blue doped wafers now. The next thing I want to get is some blue alloy ingots. Now you've seen me make red alloy ingots. I'm going to make some blue alloy ingots by combining iron with nickelite. And look at me being a noob. I forgot, it's not iron, it's silver that I need to combine with nickelite. So let's get just a few of those guys. And again, it's a combination of 4 nickelite and 1 silver bar. And that's going to give us the blue alloy ingot. And I'm going to need a few of those, so why don't I go with, I don't know, that many. Sure, why not? And I'll be back in a moment once those have fully cooked up. Oh well, 2's good enough for now. If I place them in the crafting table and surround them with these blue doped wafers, I'm going to get a solar panel. Ta-da! Very nice. And that's going to be the foundation for generating power in Red Power 2, at least for now. I'm also going to grab myself some copper and some tin, and if I place them like so, with some nickelite around them, I get some BT batteries. Now that's blue trick batteries. Very cool. And I can use those blue trick batteries. Going to need some more blue alloy ingots. Going to place one like so. Some iron, the blue trick batteries, and a piece of wood. And that'll give me a battery box. And the battery box is going to store Red Power 2 energy. Excellent. And the last thing I need to make here with my blue alloys is some cabling. And right now it uses wool, but this is temporary until all the components of Red Power 2 are ready to go. But I've got blue alloy wire. And let's see, I could go with maybe 2 more of these guys. I'll just let them cook. And while they're cooking, I'm going to head out and get some electric power going for Bluetricity. Now, how about here? This looks like as good a place as any. And look, there's a nice little spider hanging out up there. Sun's coming up, that's nice. I don't know where the spider went. Oh, there he is. Ha ha ha, Mr. Spider. Now, I'm going to grab my solar panels and hook them up like so. Very cool. And solar panels work as blue alloy wire, so they'll transmit power along the line pretty much however you want. And I'm going to run this blue alloy wire probably like, I don't know, maybe down this wall. I want to figure out exactly how I want this run. Alright, I decided to move these guys like so. And just run them right down this wall. So let's see. I believe this might work. Maybe I need to do something like this, actually. And the Bluetricity wire here, this blue alloy wiring, will work just like redstone wiring in that it runs down the wall. And I'm going to run it just like so, and connect it down here. That looks good. And of course, because this is red power, I can run and get some covers to place on there. Why don't I do that right now? Man, I miss my quantum suit. I really got to get one of those soon. So, I don't know if I have quite enough stone covers, but I'll make more in a little bit. For now, this'll do. Ta-da! But I don't really want one here because I want to place down my battery box. If I place that like so, let's see. Yep, you can see right through the wall there, that blue wiring there running into the battery box. So that's cool. Now, is it daytime or night? It's night, of course, so let's go sleep through it. Solar panels need solar energy to run on, of course, don't they? Let's go check on our battery box now. You can see it's starting to fill up with a little bit of energy. Now, I only put 2 solar panels up there, so it's going to take a while to fill up, but that's alright. I might make more in the future. Now that I've got power here, and I think this is where I want it to be. No, I put it too close to my chest because I'm a noob. So I'm just going to move it like so. Grab my wiring. And then I can cover this guy up. That should be good. And look, he's filling up again. Perfect. Alright, so I'll let that guy hang out there. Now I need to build a machine that'll allow me to pump items out of this chest. And just so you guys can see that I did this, I decided to move it one more time and create some more stone covers. So let's go ahead and move it one more time over there. That should be good. So let's go get our sorter machine built, because the sorter is what we're going to use to pull items out of the chest and sort them to where they belong. And in order to build my sorter, I'm going to need some more wafers. So let's place our 8 and 8 in there and let it cook up. And while that's cooking, I'm going to make sure that I have everything that I need in order to get going here. There we go, all ready to go. Now let's grab that guy and get started. So again, place your silicon boule in here, get your silicon wafers, and I'm also going to go ahead and just create some more of this wiring with the blue alloy ingots I got out of there. That's what I'm going to need for that. And in order to get a red doped wafer, I'm going to need to place these in here with 4 redstone, which, oh wow, I don't have any on me. I'm just going to place the whole stack in there for now. Don't worry, I won't overuse it. So I'll let those cook up. And I'm going to make, the first item I need to use for this is a filter. And in order to make a filter, I'm going to need some more wood. Oh wow, I'm out of wood. So I went and grabbed some Mobius fuel out of my chest because I don't want to run outside and collect wood at the moment, but I really got to stop using all my good and funky resources here for equivalent exchange purposes. But hey, I've got some wood now and I'm happy. So, some iron. Take back my redstone. I've got my red doped wafers. And build myself a piston. And with the piston, I need to make a filter. In order to make the filter, I need some gold ingots, which of course I don't have any on me. But that's okay, because I'll simply target iron and scale down my diamond to iron, and then upgrade some iron to gold. Thank you very much. And I can place my gold on either side here. And I'm going to need one of those red doped wafers, and I'm going to need some cobblestone, like so. And that gets me a filter, which is an item that functions just well in Red Power 2, but I'm going to use it as a component to build the sorting machine. And the sorting machine goes a little something like this. Going to need a red doped wafer, which I just made one of. And I really got to sort out my inventory in a moment here. So I've got those 2 guys down, a filter, some iron, and one of those blue alloy ingots. And now we've got the sorting machine. Awesome, awesome, wonderful toy. And I'm going to place that guy down right here next to this chest, like so. And the sorting machine has an input and an output side, and I think right now it's facing the wrong direction. In order to remedy that, I'm going to have to make a screwdriver, using a stick and an iron ingot. This is basically the equivalent of the wrench, in which it'll be used to manipulate your red power machines. So that looks cool. This is the output side of the crafting machine, and I'm of the sorting machine. And it's going to be used basically to get items where they need to be. So I think I want to build it something like this. There we go. And I want to ensure that if there's nowhere for these items to go, they find their way back to this chest. So in order to do that, I'm going to do something like this. I'll sort up the redundancy stuff in a bit, but for now, let's demo how this works. Now the sorting machine, when you first open it up, is a pretty complex looking interface, but don't worry, I'll explain how it works. For the most part, you're going to want to watch my tutorial video on how to function this guy, but for the most part he's not too hard. And just because I happen to have this machine sitting right next to my solar towers, I'm just going to hook up my solar panels to this machine. Sweet. And look at me, I just made a big old mess of things, didn't I? Yes, I did. Let me fix this up. Alright, so I just reran this wiring a little bit, and if we go look inside this area here, I'm going to seal that wall back up in a bit, we can see that our sorting machine has all the energy he needs, and my battery box is still filling up with excess energy. Awesome. And again, if you're not familiar with the way these machines work, check out my tutorial. I think I have a video up for Red Power 2 pre-release 4, and it'll explain how all these guys work. So, I need to sort out which sorting system I want to do. I'm going to need quite a bit more pneumatic tubes, so why don't I go craft those up real quick. Nice. And I'm also, the next item I'm going to need here is going to be a retriever. So let me show you guys how to make one of those. So I need to build another filter, as you guys saw me build just a minute ago. And this time I was nice and got all my items together. There's my filter. And I'm going to need another one of these blue alloy ingots with the filter in the middle. And those guys down there like that. Now I'm also going to need, and I lied a little bit, I didn't get all the items I needed ahead of time. I'm also going to need a couple of brass. Going to need this piece of leather, which I went and got off a cow just a minute ago. And I'm actually going to need, I think I have them in here, a couple of ender pearls for this recipe. There we go. Got myself a retriever. Excellent. Let's go check out how this system's going to work. Now, I need to retrieve items out of these 3 inventories. And in order to do that, I'm going to place down my retriever. And I actually have it backwards again, so let me get out my screwdriver. There we go. So now it's going to pull items out of these inventories out this side. And I can run some tubing, like so. Ta-da! That should work pretty well. So what's going to happen now, and the way that the Red Power 2 tubes work, is that items are going to get sucked out of this inventory, and they're going to go up this tubing system. And they're going to be dropped into the first inventory that's available. So it's first going to try going here, and if it can, it'll go in here, and if it can, it'll go in here. And if it can't from there, it's going to, I don't know what it's going to do, we'll figure that out next. I'll probably have to put an excess chest right here. Then, I'm going to set up my retriever to send items and pull them out of these chests. Well, the rotary macerators, that is. And it'll pull them out the front, so it'll pull from the output slots. And those items will all go, and the same deal is going to happen here. Straight into some furnaces. At which point, I'm going to have to extract them out of the front of the furnaces, and I'll get to that in just a minute. So let's try it out, shall we? Now, in order to run this machine, I'm going to need to first grab myself some copper, some tin, some gold, and some iron. Because those are the 4 items that we can, do stuff with. I'm actually going to need to do the same with some silver, and I'm going to have to do the same thing with some, other stuff. But for now, this is good. And in my sorting machine, I'm going to say copper, tin, gold, and iron. And that'll be good. And don't worry, I'm going to be doing a little bit more with this in a minute, but this is really just kind of to demonstrate how it works. Let's place copper, tin, gold, and iron in this chest here. Next I need to cook up some smooth stone and get myself some stone wafers. These are going to be used as components to make a couple more Red Power 2 items. Let's get them going real quick right now. I'm going to need some timers. So I'm going to need to place and get myself 6 of these stone wire block things. That looks good. And I'm going to need a couple of these guys, the stone anodes. Actually going to need a bit more than I just got. And I'm also going to need a couple of stone cathodes. Cool. And I need some more smooth stones. Let me go grab some of that. While that's cooking up, I also need a stone pointer. And that's made by getting one of these guys, a couple of you, and a couple of you. Now I can place down my 2 stone pointers there, my 2 stone cathodes there, 2, 2, and 2, like this. You 2 there, and 2 of you here and here. And that'll get me my 2 timers I'm going to need. I'm probably going to need a little bit more than that, but for now this will get things going. And the timer is the way we're going to activate our handy sorting machine here. Now I already ran a wire behind it. Hang on a sec while I sort out how I want this to work. So I'm just outside behind my house here. I'm going to break this wiring because I want to wire it underneath like so. You know what? No, I'm alright. Yeah, that looks alright to me. Alright, so what I'm doing here is just moving this around. That should be alright. And I'm going to place one of my timers right here on the wall like so. And you can see it's facing in that direction. And what that's going to do is it's going to start pulling items out of the chests. And you can see they're going into the rotary macerators. Perfect. And notice how, once it didn't have a slot for the gold to go into, it went ahead and landed in this guy. Pretty cool. Now, I also need to set up this retriever to start pulling items out of these inventories. And in order to do that, I'm going to need a little bit of blue power, and I'm going to need another one of those redstone timers. Now I need to speed this guy up just a little bit. By default, the timer's set to every 2 seconds it's pulling an item. I'm going to go with every 1 second and see how that works. Looks good to me. Now, let's get some power going for this guy. In order to do that, I'm going to need some more blue alloy wires. So I'm going to go build some of those off camera real quick. Alright, just built a couple more of these guys. Let's go head over here. 32 should be more than enough to get power over to this machine. And the way I'm going to do that is basically connect it up like so. Now I'm going to need to run some power over here. Probably like this. Oh my. Don't worry, I got a solution already. I'm not worried. No, I don't like that. I want it running up like this. And I can even run it right along this wall and work right around the power thing here. Not the most efficient use of my resources, but I told you guys already I'm not great at doing that. I'm sure I'm about to get a lot of people saying, Direwolf, what are you doing, man? Don't worry, it's all good. Yeah, let me sort out this thing out here, how this runs exactly. That'll look good. Okay, cool. So now, the way this battery box is going to work is, it doesn't need inputs and outputs. It's just like, hey, I'm going to stabilize the entire system. So now my retriever is powered. And I can cover this area up again. I'm going to need some more smooth stones, so let me do that real fast. And just so you guys can see this, I can put stone covers here. Da-da-da, I think. Yep, there it goes. And you'll never be the wiser. So now, all I need to do really to get this retriever going is tell it what it needs to retrieve out of these inventories. And what is it that needs to retrieve? Well, it needs to retrieve iron dust, copper, tin, and gold. So that's what I'm going to tell it. So any one of these items will get retrieved out of these inventories when they're ready. So let's go get ourselves a bit more, and we can test how it works. And don't forget, we want to set down our timer. And let's see. I don't think I can place the timer here, can I? Nope, probably not. Alright. So let's place it down just like so. And again, I'm going to make it a 1 second interval. So now it's constantly trying to pull all this dust out of those inventories. So let's go give it some dust to work on, shall we? I'm going to grab myself some. I'll just use a diamond for now. But I'll have copper, tin, iron, and gold. Just to demonstrate how it works. Of course, it's silly to put bars in here, but this is how it's going to work when I actually have other stuff. And you'll see all my items happily moving in, and they're going to get macerated. And the retriever is going to start pulling the items out and sending them into my induction furnaces. Look at that. How elegant. Looks like everything did exactly what it was supposed to do. Of course, it got stuck in the induction furnaces because I don't have any way of retrieving the items out of them. Don't worry, I'm on to that next. Alrighty then, so now I'm going to place down my tubes here, and I just built myself another retriever. You can see I still have some of the items in my inventory that were, used in making that. And I need to run some power over here for it, so there we go, found the power. Might need a little bit more cabling, but I think I'll be alright. Yeah, it should be cool. I'm going to place my retriever just like this. Might place it here. And it basically is going to face like that. Cool. And then I want the items to land in that middle chest over there. So I'm going to dig a little way over there. And run a tube. And I'm going to run the tube underground. Like that. And finally, I'm going to hook up what should probably go, I don't know. Oh wow, perfect. Alright, let me sort out where I want to put this thing. Alright, got another timer here. Alright, good. That looks like it's working. Let's just orient it just the right way, make sure it's going good. Yep, that looks good to me. Okay, let's get out of here. Now, I'm not going to cover up the floorboards just yet. Maybe I will just around here just to make sure it looks nice. But the way this should work, this guy has power, which he does now, is that any items in here that match what I tell it needs to match will get pulled out. So what's going to get pulled out of this system? Well, there could be gold, copper, tin, or iron. That's at least it for now, and I can easily expand this system by just adding items to my retriever. So, I need another piece of tin and another piece of copper. Now, of course, my sorting system isn't totally complete just yet, but I'm getting there. So let's throw in our gold, copper, iron, and tin into my chest and see what happens. And oh boy, what a noob I am. While I was digging around under the floor here, I think I actually knocked off one of the blocks that was pretty important. So let me go fix that real quick outside. And make that 1 second again. Now we should see our gold, tin, copper, and iron going into the macerators. And they're getting pulled out by my retrievers, because the retriever's saying, hey, any dust that land in that machine, pull them out. And then this retriever over here is saying, hey, any bars that you get in any of these inventories, pull them out and send them along this pneumatic tube system. You can see them heading in that direction. And they get to land in this chest. Beautiful. I love it already. And I don't think I set this guy to a 1 second timer. I probably should. Nice. Alright, I think that system is beautiful. I love it. So I'm just going to seal up this floor a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So now I need to expand upon this system, because I need to be able to put anything in this chest. I want to be able to put whatever I want in there and make sure it gets taken care of. So let's move on. Alright, so I mentioned that that machine that I used back there is a sorter, but I haven't shown you any sorting functionality. Don't worry, I'm about to show you how that works. And the first thing I need to do is get some tin plates. And the tin plates are made by putting in an alloy furnace, some iron, and some tin. 2 iron and 1 tin gives you 4 tin plates. I'm going to let those guys cook up, and I'm going to grab myself some wool here. Now, wool I can combine with a stick. And I get a paintbrush. Cool. Need a couple more sticks. Ta-da! 4 paintbrushes. Excellent. And I'm also going to need, out of my red power chest here, miscellaneous junk, the flax seeds. You guys might have noticed as I was breaking glass, instead of just getting regular seeds, I was also getting flax seeds. Flax is going to be used for a bunch of stuff in red power too, but at the moment its most obvious function is what you're going to see in a moment here. Now I'm also going to need some red, yellow, I should get some more cactuses. I grab myself bone meal, grab myself some ink sacs, that should be good. Let me get myself a cactus as well using my friend the transmutation table. Alright, got myself some cactus green, some ink sacs, some dandelion yellow, and some rose red. That'll do great. Let me throw back the junk I don't need anymore. I'm also going to use, let's see, some bone meal for white, and was I dumb? Yes, I was. I placed my ink sacs back in there. Ha ha. Now, got my tin plates, and 7 tin plates like this give you a paint can. So, let's get ourselves some more paint cans. That looks good to me. Got a few excess tin plates, that's alright. And a paint can with some flax seeds and 2 of a color material. I think it needs to be more like this. No. Oh wow, even easier. It's only 1 of a color material. Cool. And 2 flax seeds get you white paint. So let's get some black paint. Red. This is fun. Yellow. And green. Nice. And I'm going to deposit this back in here, and I'll put my coloring dyes in my miscellaneous junk section. Beautiful. So I've got my paint cans, and I've got my paint brushes. So let's get some red paint. And you can see that it uses a little bit of the paint can every time I paint a brush. Pretty cool. I should probably make 1 more brush, a black one. So I'm going to go do that now, real quick. Got myself a piece of wool, thanks to equivalent exchange, and I'm going to combine it with the black paint can to black paintbrush. Awesome. So now you can see I used a little bit of paint out of each can. These things will last for quite a while for me. And let's go start putting them to good use. Now, I'm going to first off paint, let's say, green on this tube. Right up here. And that's going to mark it so that only items that are marked as green items can go through this tube. And I'm going to open up this interface here, and I'm going to say only green items are these. Now, obviously, I'm not really going to be using these items here. I need to use the ores, not the ingots. And I'll replace them in a little bit once I'm ready to make the system really, all live and everything. And what that should do, if I set this up properly, is ensure that any of these items in this row get marked with a green line, and they're sent out that way. And I think that might even be the wrong color green. I think it needs to be like a darker green. Yeah, there it is. That looks better. That matches my green color. And underneath the floorboards here, hopefully I didn't just break anything. No, I'm cool. I'm going to run some more tubing. And I'm going to run it straight out and over to my chests. So now I know I'm right underneath my chests here. So that should be one. Am I right? Nope. It's this one here. Yep, that's right. And I've also got a chest over here. Ta-da! And I can run my pneumatic tubes like so. So let's say we want yellow and red. So I'll paint this pipe red, and I'll paint this pipe up here yellow. Cool. And then I'll run my pneumatic tube system. Right along back here. And I can run him straight down like so. Cool. Alright, let me get myself out of this hole that I've dug myself without breaking any wiring. Perfect. So now what should happen is any items marked for red and yellow will go where they belong over here. This is red, and this is yellow. And I might even want to make, just to make things a little bit more simple, I might make this end chest here. The output for, this way I can have everything nice and neat underground. So I'm actually changing it up so that the chest on the end here is where all my refined ingots will go. Cool. And I'm going to have a green guy here. That'll be, oh no wait, I already used green. I need to use black and white. So let's say black here and white here. Okay, that should be good. I think I've accounted for all the possibilities. Let's get out of this hole now. And give it a whirl, shall we? So let's start with red. Let's find red on the line here. There it is. And let's say that all sand, dirt, and cobblestone should go down the red path. And what that should do is send items down that way, all the way over here, and hit the red line. Let's give it a shot, shall we? I'm just going to put 5 of each in. And look, there go red items. And you can see that they're going down because they're being flagged with red. And if we were to watch this underground, we'd see that the red items are only allowed to go down the red path. Awesome. Now I'm also going to tell it, this line here is basically the what do I do if I have no clue what to do with these items, if they're not listed in this inventory here. And I'm going to make that the white guy. This guy's going to be pretty much your, I don't know what it is, so just dump it in there. So let's set white to be the I'm not sure what to do slot. And I'll put a stick in there. Now I didn't tell the sorting machine what to do with the stick, so the stick was labeled with a white bracket, and it's being sent along the tube system. And it should land in the white slot. Here it comes. Beautiful. Perfect, exactly what I wanted it to do. So now I've got a pretty nice automatic sorting system. I just need to tell that machine back there how to run things. And just like always, if I were to put, one of these bars in here, let's go grab one real quick, it should get its green mark. So, iron ingot, for example. Place that in there, and it should get pumped out with green and sent into the macerators and then the cookers. Now, of course, like I said, ingots are not going to be the ones that are going through there. It should be iron and gold ore. Perfect. I like the looks of that. So let's grab ourselves some of the red power goodies we've got. We've got emeralds, we've got sapphires, we've got nickelite, and we've got rubies. That looks like it'll be a good representation of red power. I should probably account for tungsten, marble, and I think I had some basalt somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it. I think I might have put it in my miscellaneous junk. There it is, basalt cobblestone. We'll call the yellow chest where I'm going to put all my red power goodies. So, yellow on the sorting line here. And you can right-click to go backwards in color. We'll say, like, there, one of you, basalt, marble. I won't worry about tungsten right now, but if I wanted to, I could make another line that's yellow and say tungsten. But I'll hold off on that for now. And let's give it a test, shall we? Put you, and you in there. And they should all get yellow. Perfect. Just what I wanted to see. And my cobblestone's going red. So I still need to figure out what to put in my black chest here. Let me think about what's going there. Alright guys, I decided to change my planning a little bit, and I'm making myself a blue paintbrush. Don't want to forget my paint can. I'm going to go dump that back in my red power chest. And what am I going to use the blue paintbrush, you might ask for? Well, I just decided to make this actually work a little bit better. I'm going to make this the blue line. And if I have everything set up properly, I should be able to simply do something like this. Get rid of all this tubing here, because there's no need for it all. It just occurred to me. I can just simply connect it like so. Looks good. Now, how do I make sure that the items coming out of this line here go down to the blue line? Quite simple. As a matter of fact, the retriever here can assign a color so that anything coming through it goes blue. So there's dark blue. And I'm going to set this guy to have dark blue. And I'm going to have anything that comes out of the ground that's, already, useful. Like redstone. Try a couple of diamonds. Coal, why not? That kind of stuff. Lapis, perfect. Good example. Uranium, yeah, want to try that. That should be good for now. Maybe even obsidian? Sure, why not? Oh, well, yeah, why not? Okay, cool. So here we'll go with the blue line, like I had. And I can set this actually back to null or something. There we go. And the blue line will be obsidian, uranium, diamond, coal, lapis. Oh boy. Better put redstone in another line with blue. A lot of things go into the blue chest, aren't there? Oh well. Maybe I should actually make these black. Yeah, I got an idea. I'll make some of them black, because I haven't used the black chest yet. There it is, black. And that's where I'll send. Maybe these guys can go to black, and these guys can go to blue, along with the, yeah, that looks good to me. Along with the ores. So let's test that out real quick, shall we? Uranium, diamond, and you guys, go for it. Have a blast. So, stuff's going out to the blue line and to the black line. Cool. So you can see it took a little bit of effort to set up this whole sorting system, but once I did, it's extremely flexible. I mean, it's amazing how quickly you can add items into the sorting system, start routing things different ways, and change up how everything works. I mean, it's just incredibly dynamic. Some really cool stuff you can do. And this little crafting sorting machine here actually has quite a bit more functions than I'm not using at the moment. It can do a lot more than you're seeing. but for now, it's doing exactly what I want it to do. I should probably test it with an ore or two, just to make sure it goes down the blue path like I expect it to. So if I grab just a couple pieces of tin and some gold, that should be good. There we go. It goes down the green path and gets cooked. Macerated and cooked. And I could even speed these guys up if I set the timers to more than 1 per second, but I think for now I'm going to leave it as is, and I might play around with speeding it up later. And if we check now, these items should be coming through with a blue line around them. Yep, and they are. Perfect. And they're going to go land right where I want them to. And maybe, just maybe, because I like to be a little bit accurate about the way my systems work, it doesn't make any sense to me that the miscellaneous junk guy is in the middle. Don't ask me why that doesn't make sense to me, but it doesn't. So I'm just going to paint this white and paint this blue. And that'll basically reverse the order of things that need to go around. Rubies, huh? Ruby. I didn't know what to do with ruby. Did I not put ruby in? Yeah, I didn't. Oh well. Maybe I won't do that. I'll put rubies in here. That should be cool. And I won't worry about basalt and marble. I'll let that go into the random slots. That's good for me. Alright, so I think this is a good wrapping up point for Direwolf20's Let's Play. This has been episode 11. It's probably a very long one. It definitely feels like it was. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing what the Crazy Machines and Red Power 2 can do for us. I'm going to go just seal up my floor here, and I'll catch y'all later. So take it easy, everyone.